Welcome to Between the Lines podcast. I'm your host, Dub Q, and you already know what time it is. If you haven't already, go ahead, stop what you're doing, like, subscribe to the channel, click that red button, and make it happen. We would like to thank you guys for pulling on up. But without further ado, let's get on into it if we're going to get into it. Frank Rich, enter Frank Rich, former quarterback in 1995 of the Carolina Panthers, has now been named as the new head coach 25, 26 years later. Um, he was hired by the Colts in 2018 and compiled a 40 and 33 record and won, along with two playoff appearances in 2018 and 2020. However, he had an ugly 3-5-1 start to the 2022 regular season, which saw him led and pushed out of the door in Indianapolis. Enter here to the Carolina atmosphere, the keep pounding mantra that we all love so much. Frank Rich is now not the offensive coordinator, but the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. So, with this being said, I was going to do a list of guys that I look to travel along with him that could come over here and make a difference in Carolina. Um, let's go ahead and get on into it if we're going to do it, man. Without further ado, I believe let's start a scenario with some upcoming free agents that's going to be able to hit the market. And I'm going to say one, Paris Campbell, wide receiver of the Indianapolis Colts. He was a guy that Rich really pounded the table for back in 2019. He had some injury-riddled seasons where he couldn't make it on the field, but he was allowed to stay healthy. And if you were to add him to a wide receiver room along with DJ Moore, LaVisca Chenault, the cast and crew. Like I said, we don't know who all Frank may keep. I believe that Shy Smith is a guy that's going to be on the way out. Terrence Marshall Jr. is going to be there as well. But you could use another receiver to come in and really, give this room some some oomph. So, yeah, Paris Campbell. If you can pick him up, you don't have to spend too much on him. You can get him for a veteran minimum. And he's a guy that can come in and get you some yards, man, get you some completions, move those chains. Uh, this guy, the next guy I'm looking at, is a guy that could possibly hit the market and possibly goes elsewhere. But he's been pretty good. Um, at first glance, his name is Bobby Orique, or most people say Orique, whichever one floats your boat. But at first shot, you would think that there would be no doubt that the Colts resign him. But they got $20 million already tied up in the Shaquille Leonard already. So it makes his future look a little cloudy when it comes to coming in, staying in Indianapolis. That's a guy we need linebacker help all day long. Rich brought Gus Bradley on as the defensive coordinator last year, and he had a vision of where he saw that defense going. But I'm just saying, it depends on who our new defensive coordinator is. They could look to bring a guy in like that from the Indianapolis Colts who got a relationship with your head coach who can come on in and really stir some things up and pay him along with Frankie Louvu. That means our draft, we can really focus on getting some, I already said in the second or the third round, we were going to look to take a linebacker to possibly solidify that position. But that means you can go best player available and not have to go off a need. So that's something interesting to see as well. We'll see if they get to it. Also, this guy is who I would love to come over and travel over with your boy, Yannick Ngakoue. Everybody know him. He is number 91 for the Colts, and he's never had anything shorter than 8 sacks in every season. I mean, when it comes to pass rush, he can get to the quarterback. Make no mistake, he can set the edge. You could put him alongside Brian Burns and have trouble. That means when you hit the draft, you can go and get interior defensive linemen and let this guy really hit the outside. But do we have the money to really throw to him if we go out and get a linebacker like I just spoke of, like Bobby Orique? If we go get him, do we have enough money to pull in Ngakoue? Because like I said, he's a solid pass rusher. He can go out there and get you 8+ sacks. I mean, he's proven that every year. Hey, you got Brian Burns over there getting 13 with no help. Imagine what the numbers will look like with help. So, I mean, that right there leaves a taste in my mouth that I would love to explore. Can we get a guy like that through the door who can come in and give you almost close to double-digit sacks? Let's see. Depends on who our defensive coordinator may be and what Frank Rich's vision for this pass rush might be. So that'd be good to explore. I would love to. Next, safety, Rodney McLeod Jr. That would be a guy that, like I said, we have plenty of talent at safety right now with Jeremy Chin and Xavier Woods, Miles Hartfield. But I mean, you can always have safety help. And Scott Fitterer said it best. He wants a guy that can fly around and be a playmaker. Well, you can enter Rodney McLeod Jr. from the Colts. He'd be a guy that you would love to bring in. Um, he knows how Frank Rich likes stuff. He's a guy that can, fly in, be a ball hawk defender, and really come in and make some plays. And I would like that if we could have that in the backfield because we all know Xavier Woods is a good run assist safety. Well, this guy right here is a good coverage safety. And having him would go a long way because he gives you a different dynamic than what you're getting right now. Because I think the Carolina Panthers lack in coverage safeties because Jeremy Chin isn't a cover safety. He's a run assist safety. Same thing with Xavier Woods. That's why they complement each other so well. So having this guy right here would be he would fit the bill. I mean, this guy would be everything we would need, and he comes with veteran leadership. I like it. If he was to hit free agency, I think we should do what we could to bring him in here. Also, cornerback Brandon Fancyson. I mean, make no mistake about it. The Panthers have had just about every single cornerback on the NFL roster in last year. I mean, think about it. J.C. Horn got hurt. Dante Jackson got hurt. They brought in some no-name cats. I mean, Keith Taylor, C.J. Henderson. They brought Josh Norman in for a game and didn't play him. I mean, that's another position we need to look at to make sure that we got somebody. I'm under the impression you can hit the draft too and have somebody, but it wouldn't hurt to bring him in where you can take a look at him because, like I say, he's a free agent. And why not travel for a fresh opportunity over here with your former coach, knowing that you had some good years up under him from 2018 to 2020. Come on, man. So, lastly, wide receiver Ashton Doolin. I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent. He's another guy that you can come in, plug and play. We need depth at receiver. We already got Andre Robertson, Rashad Higgins hitting free agency. So, I mean, you need somebody to come in to do special teams. This guy could come in, fit the mid there, and really take that and run off with it and make it his own. Frank Rich trusts him. He already was doing that for him over there. So this guy right here can fit the bid at special teams. We need a guy that can come in, get us field position, win the field position battle, and just keep us going, moving the chains. So he would be a good addition pickup. Let's see if we can make some of this happen. I mean, you got to look at what Frank Rich had in Indianapolis and now having a chance to go into this draft and having a C.J. Stroud or a Bryce Young or Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, one of those four quarterbacks, getting some of these receivers to pair with that would be a night's – it would be a night and day difference from what he had when he was in Indianapolis. And like I said, after getting off to a rocky start at 3-5-1, that's something that you would like to see from this guy starting off on the right foot here in Carolina. And we would love to have that happen. Now, make no mistake about it, I want Gilly Lock. Gilly Lock is another guy that I also want to see if he can come over here, but he still got another 1-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts. And so who knows, man? I think that when Matt Rule pushed him out of the door, or they didn't try their best to bring him back in, that was a mistake. And that's another guy that I would love to see finish his career here in Carolina at 31, 32 years old. He's still a good, decent cornerback. And I think that he can also be a lot more – he less injury prone than what we got now. I mean, every corner on our draft, on our depth chart is injury prone. J.C. Horn, injury prone. Dante Jackson, injury prone. C.J. Henderson, he ain't injury prone, but it's just like he already broke up anyway because he can't make no plays. So you know what I'm saying, man. Don't get me started on this. I just wanted to, make a list of some stuff for some people that would have been coming on over with Frank Rich. And I believe that this would be good to do, man. Without further ado, if you like what you're hearing, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Show that love, man. Hit that Cash App as well as go ahead and hit our spreadshop.com between the lines. And show that love over there, brother. Buy some